Welcome to Platform Analytics Academy. My name is Thomas. I'm your host today. We have a really good presentation demo on tap today, so excited about that. Just real quickly, I want to kind of just go through a couple of the logistical things. If you've been here before, you've probably heard it, but it's still important for us to go over these things. So real quickly, these, as usual, are always for you. We try as hard as we can to bring fresh ideas and better understanding and practical guidance as much as we possibly can with many ideas. This is being recorded. It will be out on the community page later on this afternoon, as well as it'll be on our YouTube channel later on today as well. Q&A, please ask questions. Feel free to ask as many questions as you would like. The only thing that we ask is that you try to put them in the Q&A. There are other panelists on the call that will be answering questions. If they can answer those via type, they'll do that. If it is a question that is relevant to where we are in the topic, we'll stop the presenter and ask that question to get it answered. And we try to answer all of the questions that are relevant to the content first, but if there are other questions that come in and we have time permitting towards the end of presentation, we'll definitely open up and answer those as well. So safe harbor, just to make sure that we put this out there. I don't know that there's anything that's in this, but just in case, please don't make any buying decisions or anything of that sort based off the content that we're going to cover today. But I don't know if there's anything out there, but just in case. My name again is Thomas Davis, and I am the host. I have Max Gonzalez with me as well, and he is from the Customer Outcomes organization within ServiceNow, so we're excited to have him. And as usual, I have my coworkers, Dan, Tara, and Adam. I don't know that Adam's here yet, but I think he will show up. But Dan and Tara are here as well as myself to answer questions as they come in. And again, today we're going to talk about ITSM on mobile. This is a really great topic, one that we haven't covered in a while. And, you know, Max is a resident guru on this, so we're excited to see what he's going to show us. So with that, Max, if you are ready, you can take over sharing and we can get started.
So thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here. We are going to speak about the mobile experience. The reporting on the mobile experience is a super exciting topic. I really love mobile technology. I really love the part of reporting. I prepare a little demo that I think that is good to see this in action. So let's start. First, it's about me. My name is Max Gonzalez. I am based in Spain. I joined ServiceNow 5 years ago. I'm managing the technology workflow for Mediterranean and MESA team, which means that I work usually for 7 countries in 3 different continents. Super excited to be here today. One thing that is important for me is that you realize that I was an IT director and I am an IT expert. So I have a clear idea about how the real work of the ITSM people is. And actually, I am going to be focused on that. What is, in my humble opinion, the important things when you are working in reporting for the agent people, the agent fulfiller that are working on the solution, on the task of the company. So, first, I don't know if you are familiar, just in case, ServiceNow at this moment has 3 different applications for mobile experience. The first one is no mobile. No mobile is focused in employee. It's for everybody. There usually you have the knowledge, you have the way to reach IT, HR, and all those things. We have also agent mobile. Agent is focused in fulfiller, in the people that is let me say, working for the company. IT, mostly HR, sometimes managers also. And the last is onboarding. Onboarding started to be deprecated in Rome. So these things now are managed by no mobile. If you have onboarding, it's still live, but if you are a new customer of ServiceNow, it's not possible for you to achieve this application. The important thing here is that the mobile experience is basically the same that the platform experience. So the security, the information, the things that you can do or you cannot do are the same if you are in the mobile or you are in the ServiceNow application. Also, it's possible to share functionality between different apps. I mean, if I develop something for Agent, I can reutilize for new mobile and vice versa. These applications are compatible, it's possible to download for Apple Store or for Google Store. And in each release, we make different tests with different devices. The most relevant is iPhone and iPad and the Android. Android tablets are not tested, are not supported actually. From the experience point of view, I don't understand why a person with an iPad will use one application, but it's up to you. I mean, if I have an iPad, probably I'll go with my browser, maybe Chrome, maybe Firefox, to use the application directly. I know that a few months ago, I think that in half a year or something similar, 1 year and a half, you spoke about this, so I am going to be brief about the capabilities of reporting, general capabilities, because I want to be focused on the capabilities of the ITSM out-of-the-box application. But just in case, it's important to know that there is only 4 types of reports that are possible to use in mobile. The first one is the time series, which, as you know, are mostly for giving information about the time. We have a few boundaries. For instance, drill down views are not possible. It's not possible to configure the legend by admin, but in general, the experience is the same that in the service portal or in the normal user workspace. The second one is my favorite, a single score. Keep in mind something that sometimes we are not aware of that. When we design, you have to think in the mobile. The mobile is a limited screen, so the more things that you put, the worse for the user. Single score is something that is little and give you the real information that you need. 20 incidents, 3 breaches, 1 VIP waiting for you, whatever is the KPI or the important thing that you are checking is there in one side, and it's possible easily tapping in the single score, navigating to the list of things that are there. Can be incidents, can be tasks, can be problems, whatever. The next one is the donut. It doesn't matter if you make a report with a pie or with a donut, in the mobile is a donut. This is funny, it's fantastic for people to understand, I don't know, priorities or to understand categories or all those things. But being honest, as IT manager, I am speaking now as IT manager, as responsible of service desk or incident application, it's difficult to see a legitimate use case for this kind of report in the mobile. Remember that we are speaking about mobile, not about a big screen, a wall in the service desk facilities. Sometimes it's meaningful for changes, but in general, me as an agent, me as a person who is working in an incident, in a task, I don't need this kind of graphics. Sorry, because it's super beautiful, but I don't think that is super used. And the last one is the bar. It's similar to the donut. Can be interesting for a manager, can be interesting for having a general information, but for the day-to-day of a fulfiller, it's difficult to see. One important boundary that we have here is that the bars only can be vertical. It's not possible to put horizontal or Pareto or histogram, only vertical. This is a technical boundary. I think that is not super relevant, but some of the customers complain about that sometimes. So I want to be clear that it's not because we don't want it, it's because technically it's not possible, only vertical is allowed. Always that you see these things in the mobile is because you can press over the legend, and then you can remove or add this category in the graphic. These 4 reports is for reporting. For performance analytics, only is possible to add a latest score. Latest score actually is super useful, and we use frequently in the projects. When you go to the latest score widget, you can see all the information. You can see all the information that is managing this indicator. It's possible always in the mobile do tune in, tune out when you are working a graph, and you have here all the story. You can also move in this area to see how the graph is moving with the time. Or more or less, I spoke about this in the previous slide. So let's go to the ITCM part. What is the relevant here? Everything is demo data. It's not, of course, it's not from a customer. I use this person, Bo. Bo is an agent, is an ITIL person. He has ITIL and ITIL admin roles, and is part of these groups. This is important because you are only see the information that you are allowed to see, of course. And in this case, you have your work and your team work. When we speak about teamwork, we are speaking about, in this case, hardware, network, and database. When I started to do this presentation, I realized that there is no PA in the mobile agent, out of the box, ITCM mobile agent, out of the box. So I installed this plugin, Major Incident, which I think that is a must, is a super useful plugin for ITSM. And this plugin has actually a PA. This is the reason why for giving some flavor to the presentation. So, say that what we have in ITSM mobile. First, we have two tabs, my work in my team. The first are things that are related to me, and the second are things that are related to the teams that they are working. In this case, remember, my friend Bo is working for hardware, database, Atlanta, and application development. So in the first screen, I have two different screenshots because it's not possible to put one only screen with all the information. This on-call schedule is this on-call schedule. This is the reason why I say to the beginning, be careful with put super graphic about the donuts or about the BART because it's fancy. You need to put only what is needed because the space is limited. In this first setup, my work, you have beautiful information about your incidents, about your work. Keep in mind, for instance, that here we are not seeing the approver part because this guy has not the right role. So it's not possible for him. If he's a manager or if he's an approver, he has here one more that is called approval, my approvals. And information about my own SIPs, who is in the calls, which means who are the next escalations for me, my time of request, all those things that are relevant. But unfortunately, it's nothing about reporting. Because this is about reporting, I prefer to move to the next slide, which is much more interesting. In my team, we have three single scores that I say I love this kind of reports because with little space is giving to you a lot of information. In this case, it's giving to you that you don't have any incident that is possible for you to breach, that currently you have 3 breaches, but my friend, and you have 15 changes that are overdue. Remember that this is a demo data, so probably is because I created this demo 3 days after I installed the plugin. If I tap in the different report, I am going to navigate to the 3 incidents or to the 15 changes. Okay. Later, I have an assigned incidents of my groups, which is not relevant for us, and this info is the same that in the previous tab, but unfortunately, about the group is not relevant for us. And this is one of the graphics that, my opinion, this is the time series about how many incidents are opened for my teams in the last weeks. Probably for my friend, for Bo, is not very exciting. But you can go there, you can navigate, and later we are going to see how it works, and select the week and go there. As I said, in mobile reporting, these kind of reports are the real stars for the fulfillers, more than these fancy reports. I want to say that I did one application for one company, thinking in managers, full of graphical information, but it's a very specific case. Usually, we don't put this kind of graphics in mobile. And last, this is major incident. This is not out of the box with ITSM mobile. I had to install a second plugin. This plugin, for me, you don't know, this is from a few releases, maybe 4 or 5 years. Major incidents is very, very interesting, super useful. It's a easy way when you realize that there is something important failing in your instance, to unify all the different resources that are working on different incidents to work in only one major incident. This is mostly I use this implementation for financial companies that, as you know, probably are supervised for central banks. Major incidents, you need to work all together in the same way to finish as soon as possible. So I found this plugin interesting, first because maybe you don't know that it exists, and second because it's using this fancy perform analytics that is giving super important information. Number of major incidents that are opened, mean time to identify that, as you can see, is demo because 0 hours I bullseye forever, and mean time to resolve. This is a latest score, PA, and you can also go inside and check how the indicator is evolving in the time. Later you have this other report, major incident opened, is interesting, and this is useful because it's incidents opened and active. So they are not closed yet. So you need to work with. Remember that this is major incident. So it's probably priority number 1 for whatever service desk. Okay, let's go to see this in action.
Hey Max, let me stop you just for a second before you start your demo. We did have a couple questions that come in, and maybe we can answer these before you actually get into the demo. So the first one that came in is, which version? I'm guessing which version has the reports in mobile feature? I don't know that I quite understand that question.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This instance is in Tokyo, and the reports are the same. You don't have specific reports. Or it's a very good question, actually. I am going to see this later. I am going to cover this later, but we can speak briefly now. Basically, let me paint a little bit more over my screen. We call these themes, this tab, we call Apple Launcher. You know, that is a really bad number. Name. It's a container of things. And this is not a specific report created for mobile. This is a report that exists in the platform, and we put in the mobile. So you don't need to duplicate your efforts. We are reusing the same reports that you have in the instance. I hope that is answering the question.
Yep. Okay. And then the next one is, and this is more of a question whether or not you know, yes or no. Will a version of Now onboarding configuration be available in Now Mobile to be used for pre-boarding? Do you know?
Onboarding is available for all the customers that have onboarding now. If you're a new customer and you don't have onboarding, the same functionality you have for no mobile. What we did is to deprecate onboarding because really. And this is the rationale behind. You don't love no mobile, starting to work as new hire, so you have all the things that you need to do before to join to the company. I mean, the training, how we are, I don't know, security, all those things. But when you start to work, you don't need to delete this app and install it now mobile because you have no mobile. So the onboarding application is working for the customers that they are Rome or previous. If you are after Rome, you have the same functionality in no mobile HRCD, SD, I think.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one, we'll see what you can do with it here. So given that the mobile apps have a history of coming and going and the general web capability of service portals and even the back end just gets better and better, what's the use case for investing in mobile APPS instead of a general browser capability? Genuinely asking as an admin, mobile APPS seems like a headache if just use a browser is an option. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's trying to distinguish between the mobile app versus the just using a browser on the mobile device. Yeah.
Yeah, this is super interesting. First, I think this is my personal opinion. I think that it's difficult to ensure that the browser of all the applications, all the phones that are in the world are working properly. I remember when I started doing mobile application in 2010, something similar, 2010, 28, 2010, I think, 12 or 13 years ago. It was super difficult to understand how many Android versions do you have. Last time that I checked it, that was in 2014. It was 2014. We are speaking about, wow, I am so old. We are speaking about 9 years ago. There are about 10,000 Android versions. As it sounds, I mean, active Android version. 10,000 different models of Android. We speak always about Android, but every company use their own layer about giving more functionality and so on. So it's super difficult to ensure the proper behavior of the browser. With the web app, you are doing the right thing. You know what I mean? You are sure that the mobile is working properly. On the other hand, it's impossible, and this is my humble opinion, it's impossible to have this functionality in a mobile. I mean, if you think in a dashboard, it's super complex, it's super tiny. I am close to 50. It's difficult for me to read. Sorry to say that. If you are a young person, you are going to have the same situation. In the mobile, you are using the space much more efficient. This is my opinion. Of course, you have other things. The performance usually is better because you are not downloading all the information, and also the possibility to work offline, particularly for agents, is super interesting. But all those things that I am speaking, if you tell me what is the advantage to use the application in an iPad, the answer is if I have an iPad, actually, I don't use the mobile application in the iPad because the iPad is big enough for me. I don't know if I answered your question, but actually it's a philosophical question more than a technical question.
Okay, great. And then we just had one, and you can continue. We just had one request, if it's possible, that you could speak up maybe a little bit. Just speak a little louder is what they're asking, if possible. But other than that, you can go ahead and go with the demo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's move to the demo then. Thank you for the question, guys. So, what can be done in the ITSM mobile agent? I am going to navigate to my team. I am going to check batch incidents. And I am going to see what is, what is going on. Keep in mind, if you see here, if you see here, in this part of the application, from the report, I move to the list, I choose my incident, and in this incident, I can add comments, and I can resolve the incident. So I can work perfectly from the mobile. Perfectly, maybe not the word, but it's absolutely possible for the agent to work with the mobile. I don't want to show this yet. I can add pictures, I can take a photo, whatever. So later, I move to the dashboard preview. Keep in mind that this is a preview of the dashboard that is generated, so it's not exactly the same. You don't have the access, for instance. And then when you are in, you can make tune in, tune out. You can navigate through the graph, and if you want, checking over the arrow. I don't know if you see the arrow here. You can go to the list of incidents of this graphic and do the same. In this case, this incident is closed. This is why I can do nothing. About major incidents, similar. I can navigate through the different applets. I can check every widget of the performance analytics, tune in, tune out, and understand how it's evolving. The numbers and the results of the widget are not very exciting because the demo data is not very exciting, but I think that you can have a general idea about the possibilities of the PA in a mobile. In this case, the major incidents opened, as I said, this is an interesting report in my opinion because are active, are live. So we can work on this, we can speak with the person who is in charge, we can do other things. Sometimes we need other things. We are not absolutely happy with the out-of-the-box possibilities that ServiceNow is giving to you, or you want to remove, whatever. How difficult is to do that? Well, first thing, I always say the same, it's super easy, but just because you can doesn't mean that you should. You have to think first if really need that change in the mobile application, because the more things that you put there, the more difficult it's going to be for the agent to find this information. So when I do these kind of things, always you have 4 steps. First, the user. And it's obvious, but sometimes we forget. We need to speak with the agent. We need to speak with the person that is going to use this. What do you need? What do you want? In general, when we speak about ITSM, I don't know your experience, but in my experience, you have your mega TV on the wallet, on the wall of the facility of the service desk, or you have a big TV, or you have with all the, all the reports, all the indicators that in one side, if everything is okay, or you have a big problem there. For the agent, this person usually doesn't need so many information, only needs his job, and sometimes his job, her job, or sometimes their groups. So when you are doing these things, first speak with them, and also think that single score is super for this kind of work. If we are speaking about to create a mobile dashboard with donuts, with bars, with super fancy things, maybe you are doing something super cool for the grown people. This is my personal advice. Second, select the report. You don't need to create a specific report for mobile. If you need to create a specific report for mobile, maybe you don't understand the first point, what the user needs. It is true that sometimes companies apply a mobile first design, and this is super fine. I remember this company that I spoke before. This is a financial company in a place where power and internet connection are not reliable. You cannot trust because you have a blackout frequently. So they were in the mobile, everybody, from the manager until the last person of the company. So in this case, yes, we create a specific dashboard for those people. And in that dashboard, we create specific reports for them because for performance topic, the out-of-the-box are not good. But in general, you need to reuse the reports that are in your instance. Create the applet is 10 seconds. A 10 seconds work. It's just select the report and that's all. It's not very difficult. You're going to see now in the screenshots that I took. And when I show you the screens, I speak about the tab. A tab is an Apple launcher. It's a container. So you need to say when you want this new report. If you need to create a new Apple launcher, a new container, you are going to hide another. This is a problem always. So it's better if you reuse one of that you have instead to create one more. Instead is if something is specifically new. A best practice for mobile application is to use your own scope. Instead, if you are, like in this case we are touching a little bit ITSM mobile, so it's good to, it's okay to use the same scope, but if you are going to do something absolutely new, it's better to create a new project, a new scope, so you separate the out-of-the-box of ServiceNow from your own development. So I select this report. Why? Because it's a report that is easy to understand, open incidents by category of my groups, that somehow can be useful for the people that is working, for the agents. I configure in the studio. In this case, I like more studio because I am more a developer than a no-code, low-code person. As I say, is this screen is only put a name. This name can be whatever name. Say if you want to onboard a report or a PA, and choose. That's all. Because it's a demo, I ticket the auto-create associated navigation and so on. That basically is for showing the list of incidents in this case. I prefer to create by myself. But this is because I am I like details. I like to put the right color, I like to put the right order in the fields, and I feel that I do better than ServiceNow. This is the reality. In general, I don't feel this, but in this case, because it's a demo, I use it. And then I select the Apple launcher, the container. In this case, is my teams, my team. I indicate that I want to onboard a chart, and I select the chart, and that's all. I can promise to you that it takes, if you don't have to create the report, of course, once that the report is selected, it takes 2 minutes as much. I mean, it's not complicated. It's super easy to add, and this is the reason why I say something only because you can doesn't mean that you should. Because sometimes, because it's easy, the people start to do things and put all the mobile applications full of things that are useless for the people. So how it was. Here you have the business, the screen. I refresh the screen, and one is refreshed, appears the new widget. Then I can tap on the widget. I can see the different things. If I check, and I want to stop here, sorry. If I check this, all of this has been created automatically because I checked the tick with the auto created. This is the reason why, for instance, just as example, the gray always is there, resolved, new. This is the little details that I don't like. This is the reason why I like to do by myself. Once I am inside, I can do things depending on the state of the incident in this case, and that's all. As you can see, something that is super easy to do. Okay, and that's all, more or less.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Really great stuff. Good to see the demos and actually see how that process works. So I really appreciate that. So we did have one question that came in that's kind of a little bit off topic, but you being someone that's very familiar with mobile, maybe you can answer this, or if not, we can definitely push it to the community. But the question is, can a custom application exist as a separate mobile app, or do they have to be a part of Now Agent and Now Mobile apps? Do you know the answer to that?
Yes, it should be part of one of those applications. It's not possible to create an application for a different application for ServiceNow. So you can use one of these two, but based on the tabs, based on so again this screen, based on the Apple Launcher, you can create as much as you want. Usually, this is one application and this is another application, usually. If you have the requirement, at the end, this is not visible for everybody, and this is the important thing. If I am working for a network and you are working as manager, probably you are not going to see these tabs. So different people can see different tabs. It's normal to have normal company, a work company, probably is managing 15 or 20 different tabs, understanding each tab as a project. But no, it's not possible to create a different ServiceNow application.
Okay, so basically, if you create a custom app inside of ServiceNow, it still has to be housed inside of Now Agent or Now Mobile.
That is.
Yep. Okay. Great. Thank you. So there was a question that came in earlier, and I actually thought that they were talking about the platform, not mobile. But the question is there a way on mobile to see all incidents rather than just the group that you're a part of? For example, like in the instance, you could go to the filter navigator and type in incident.list, and you could see all of them. But is there any type of functionality available like that in the mobile app?
Yes, of course, it's out of the box actually. I mean, in the ITSM agent, each person see what is able to see in the same way that in the platform, in the normal platform, let me say. So if I am the manager of all the incidents, of all the groups that are working in the incidents, and it's my responsibility to see everything, when I go to these out of the box applets, I'll see everything. If I go to navigate, actually, there is a limitation. I don't remember. Sorry about that. I don't remember if it's 500 or 1,000 rows at the same time for performance issues, but you can, doing one another. If it's something different, I want to see, I don't know, one specific task that I developed for my own company. You can do your own applet. As you can see, super easy to develop. It's not a problem.
Okay, great. And the next question is, why is the applet launcher a necessary step?
The applet launcher is the container, it's the tab. Oh, sorry. The applet launcher is this. To put here the applets. You can reuse the applets actually. You can put the same applet in different applet launchers, but the applet launcher is the container. Without container, you don't have this, so you cannot access.
Yeah, so basically you need the applet to hold everything that you're seeing. So when you click on my work or major incidents, that's what's holding all of the different reports that you've decided, or whatever. It could be reports or whatever you've decided to actually show when you click on that particular applet, right?
That is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So We have some time, so please ask questions if you have any questions. Max is someone that is very knowledgeable about mobile. So if you have used that in the past or using it currently or have had any issues or just questions about that, this is a great time to ask those questions. And Dan, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I know that I didn't know if there was anything that you wanted to add to anything that Max had said or whatnot. If not, I completely understand as well. Usually Adam's here, and usually Adam has something, but he's not here today. So,
no, I think that was good.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Can an applet be a dashboard as a whole, or does it have to be reports? Feels a bit scattered.
When you create an applet, you choose what is the content. Can be a report, can be a list, can be a detail, can be a map. It's very frequent to have this kind of capabilities. But you have different types. Report is one of them.
Yeah, so I think and I don't want to mispronounce the name, but I think what Max is saying is that when you create an applet, so if you had a relevant dashboard that was inside the instance and say that there were 5 reports that were on that particular dashboard, when you create an applet, you could add those same 5 reports to be held by that applet. So when you're in the mobile and you click on that applet, you would see the same 5 reports. I don't know if the question is, can you grab a dashboard that has been created inside of the instance and have that inside the applet? I don't think that you have the capability to do that, but you can definitely take what's on that particular dashboard and put inside of an applet. So you could even name the applet potentially the same exact name as that dashboard if you chose to. So then there's not random things because when you say it feels a bit scattered, so there wouldn't be necessarily random things that are a part of that applet. You would choose what would be there, so then it would be clear and concise as to what you wanted to be a part of that applet. So does that sound correct, Max?
I'm not sure if I understood the question, but basically you need your Apple launcher. And there you have to put one applet per report and you create a dashboard. The mobile dashboard is that way. You think first, what are the reports that are available for your users? Create the Apple launcher or use the Apple launcher that is in the application at this moment. And then add each report to their own applet, similar to the example that we put here. So we need one of these for each report. If I have 4, I need 4 of these. I don't know if this is the question.
Well, I think if you go to the screen that had the demo of where you were circling where it said my work and all the other things, the applets that you had down at the bottom of the mobile screen. I don't know if you can go to that screen real quick. No, I don't think it's that one. I think it was further. It was you had some red ink on it. You were circling the applets on it. I don't know where that screen's at.
I think that is the last one.
Yeah. So for example, right there. So like when you click on my work, right? There's particular things that show up under my work. And then when you click on my major incidents, there's certain things that show up there as well. Correct. So if you had for example, you had my team's weekly open incidents. So which one of those applets there is that fall under? Is that just a general that hits them all? Does that make sense?
Well, in this case, we have this my team weekly open incidents.
Yeah.
Is an applet, which is for reports. Here we have 2 more, which is for it's called icons. Let me show you the other because the other is I think that is more interesting. We are here. Here we have 3 applets. You see?
Yep.
these three applets are, each of them is one report. So it's similar to the thing that we do here. It's similar to this.
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying now, and I probably misspoke on that. So just as a summarize, the guest is asking one applet launch. Can one applet launcher be called catalog dashboard, and then this screen that screen have multiple applets, each being a specific report on that same screen?
Yes, and we have other ways to do that. I don't want to be super specific about the mobile, but you have other possibilities. For instance, it's frequent to put the extra functionality, which is not for everybody. I mean, for managers or for chief responsible or whatever, in a thing that is called function, that is a button. You press the button and you move to another screen. That's all. It's always the names makes some magic, no? But at the end, the idea of this, I need to.
I think what they're trying to do is replicate a dashboard.
You
basically
have your screen, which is named Applet Launcher. Sorry about my.
It's okay.
Applet Launcher, and then you add applets. By the way, I don't like the names. It's because I am Spanish, probably. Applets. These different applets can have different things. In this case, you can have reports. And you can put inside of each Applet launcher as many as you want.
Yeah.
What is the problem? If you put as many as you want, probably you put too much. Always here in these things, always less is better. This is the reality. I don't know if now we are answering the question or not. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you have. I think you definitely have. Yeah, definitely. So, okay. The next one is for ITSM, there's not a lot of functionality for mobile. Is there a plan to do so, or what is the plan for looking at compliance or a license renewal? Do you know anything about the ITSM side of the house, if they're going to create anything for mobile?
I don't know if we are going to have something specific. Also, for me, it's difficult to understand what is the functionality that is needed, you know? And actually, if the person that did the question give to us ideas, would be nice. Because for ITSM, at the end, we are showing incident and task, things that are doing for people, for agents that can be remotely working or can be holidays, all those things that sometimes happen. But for ITAM, in general, you are working in your office, thinking about if we are compliant or not. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe there are reports that we can onboard and we can give this information in one site. But no, I don't think that we have nothing ready for the next release.
Okay, so I think, Philip, this is probably a good thing to take to the Ideal portal, especially if there are particular things that you would like to see as it's related to ITSM in the mobile, and obviously bringing up that there's really nothing there. So I think the Ideal portal is probably the best route of action at this point to at least get it on the radar for someone to look at and, you know, figure out if that's a direction that we want to go. But as Max said, there's not anything, you know, in the next release or whatnot that he knows, he's aware of, that has that. So yeah, put something in the Ideal portal, definitely, Philip. Okay, well, thank you, Max. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take sharing back over here, and really great content. I love the questions as well. I love the fact that we were, you know, able to answer those, and, you know, just really good stuff. It has been at least a couple years since we visited this, and it was good to get a refresher and put that, you know, new relevant content out there. So Max, I really appreciate your time and being here today and doing that for us. And of course, Dan, as usual, always answering questions and being there available as well. So with that, we're going to kind of go ahead and close up. Whoa, wait a minute. Here we go. So was this question answered? I don't see a filter navigator in Now Mobile. He did answer that. because that was that question, Max, where we talked about is someone able to see all of the incidents, and basically you talked about how you can definitely do that. I don't know that there is an actual filter navigator the way that there is in the platform. There's not one, right, Max?
Sorry, I was in mute.
That's okay.
Sorry, because I was speaking for 1 hour. I want to drink water, that's all.
No worries.
I don't see filter navigation in no mobile. Well, it depends. I mean, if you are in a list, you can put the filters, and it's probably by design. I am not sure that what is the part of the application that he's speaking about. But yes, you have a filter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's called. It doesn't work the exact same way. So it's definitely not the same thing. So yeah. And whoever that anonymous was, if that doesn't give you enough clarity, go to the community, ask a question in the community, and maybe we can get some more eyes on that to hopefully help you out with that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out here now. So just some real quick things. I do have a poll, so if everybody could avoid jumping off, I want to ask these polls real quick. So we can get that to launch. So the first one is, what length of time would you prefer Platform Analytics Academies to be? We've been kind of talking about this, and we're wondering whether or not 60 minutes is good, or if you'd like something a little bit faster, or if you'd like something even a little bit longer. So, definitely give that an answer. And then also, how often do you attend? Do you come every 2 weeks? Do you come once a month? I love that somebody's honest and they say, when I remember. Hopefully we can help you remember it more and you come more often. But, is every 2 weeks enough? Is that too much? Would once a month be good? Quarterly, around how many people just come around new releases? Because I'm sure that that happens as well. But I appreciate it. Looks like most people come every 2 weeks. So it's good to see that we have some people dedicated to that. And looks like 60 minutes works there as well. So thank you for that. I don't know if everybody has answered. We got about half that has answered. We still got some people answering there. So if we could, there we go. Every week would be better. Okay. I didn't put that as a choice, but I'll definitely bring that up. A lot of times it's really being able to provide, good content that is relevant rather than kind of just doing it. So every week may be a little bit tough, but it's good to know that somebody likes to hear me at least every week. That's interesting. Dan, did you answer that? Did you want every week? Was it you?
That was, oh yeah,
That was you. I knew it was you, man.
Now the question is, do I want to hear you every week? I'm not sure. So
yeah, that's awesome. So thanks for you that answered that question, those polls. I really appreciate it. So as usual, make sure that much information on it. Yeah, ask that question in the community, anonymous, and we'll try to get you some support on that. So make sure that you're checking out the community. Ask questions. There's really great content. What this look right here that we've had, I know I've been saying since the last session it's going to change, but we've almost got all of the information prepared, and that's going to look different here shortly. Next is, this will be out in the community later on this afternoon, as I said, and of course the recording will be on YouTube as well. Check out our pro tips. These are really good 4, 5, 6 minute videos where we give you some really great content. Expect some new ones to come. We're working on some of those right now as well. Make sure that you're looking at Now Learning. Just go search for analytics and it will bring back everything that is there. A lot of great content that's there. The PA Advanced course that used to be had to be in person is now on demand. So that'll help you out there. And we also have sister academies within our organization. So we want to make sure that we let you know about those and, check those out. And this is where you go now for the platform academies. We have had the other Zoom up. It looks like there's roughly the past couple, about 10 or 15 people that are still going to the old link, but we are on a new one. So definitely go to this if you're not familiar with where you should register for those. So knowledge, right? Knowledge is coming. Very exciting times. That it's May 14th through the 18th in Las Vegas. And it is all in one location this year. The past couple years, because of COVID, we've had to make some changes, and there's been multiple locations, or 1 year where we weren't there at all, but it is all back now underneath one roof in Vegas. Very excited about being there, and very excited about seeing some of you all if you're there. So you'll keep seeing this video as we're progressing closer to that. And Dan will be there, Tara will be there, Adam will be there, I'll be there, along with many other great people. So make sure that you find us. We'll have sessions as well, labs that we're all going to be doing. So excited about that to come here in the next couple of months. And next week, we're going to talk about homepage deprecation. Again, we did talk about this last year, but with the Tokyo and Utah release, some things have been updated there. So we want to hit this again and talk about it again. So we'll do that in 2 weeks. And with that, thank you as usual. We honestly really appreciate that you all continue to come. And if you need us any more, tag me in the community in a question, and we'll try to get that answered for you. So with that, we'll see you all in 2 weeks, and thank you again.